It's all those songs except for Picnic in the Sky come from our new CD, which looks like this. I've cut those poor people's heads off on the front cover. Those are Alonzo Hilton and Lottie Clay. That's the oldest picture of my ancestors that I possess. It's their wedding day, and this is back in the late 1800s, and of course it wouldn't have been appropriate for them to be holding hands in the picture. And I love the picture because their hands are as close as possible to each other without them holding them. And it's called 200 Years of an Appalachian Family. Now, 200 years means absolutely nothing in Britain. We were in Hull today, and they said that the Hull Festival had been going for 700 years, which is older than our country. So you have to remember we're Americans, and we think 200 years is ancient. Our house was built in 1910, and we couldn't even get insurance on it because they said it was too old. And we had to get specialized insurance for our 1910 house. That's how silly we are in the United States. And there's all kinds of family pictures in there, and if you are curious, that one in the CD is of me and my sister and my mom and dad for their 21st birthday. That really is a 21 on the candle. Because Mom and Dad had us when they were, well, me when they were 17 and my sister when they were 19. And it's got 27 tracks. 15 of them are songs, then there's spoken word and instrumentals. It's got a book inside with all the lyrics to the songs and portraits that I've done in line art of my relatives. But most importantly, just in case you need something to read in the morning with your tea and your scones, got a newspaper with all the latest news from 1936 in it. And the most important part is on the back, and that's Aunt Irma's gingerbread recipe. And that recipe comes from the 1920s, and the reason that it's essential that you go ahead and get this CD and make the gingerbread is that if you make it and eat it, you'll be protected from lightning strikes. And the reason I know that's true is because baby Charlie, Aunt Irma's son, was struck by lightning twice and survived. So ergo, it just only makes sense that it was the gingerbread that he ate as a boy. I know Gabby would probably be ace at making this recipe. And so she once fed us gooseberry pie. I'll never forget that, actually.
Well, the gooseberry's just about ready.
Oh, isn't that nice? We might have to cut the concert short. So I'm going to read you this poem about baby Charlie, just so you'll be assured that if you do make this gingerbread and eat it, that you'll be safe, because he was. Baby Charlie, the lightning boy. The lightning never let him be. They all say it was on account of him being struck in the womb. I would have called Aunt Irma stately, Mama said, but I imagined her as a petite woman with long brown hair and a kind smile. I could see her picture with Uncle Fraser's arm around her shoulder and her stockings all wrinkled at her ankles and her knees. I imagined her as the kind of woman who knew just what to say to children and how to win their hearts with gingerbread. I'll never forget her gingerbread, Mama said. Aunt Irma bought precious Blair caramel sauce from the door-to-door salesman and poured it in a ribbon on top of the hot brown cake. She was peeling apples into a metal pan on her lap when the lightning ran in on the kitchen stove, jumped the pan, and climbed into her belly. Baby Charlie was in her belly too. Aunt Edith said Aunt Irma lay flat on her back for months under a barrel full of maggots as they ate away her burnt belly. But still, baby Charlie grew and grew, the lightning boy, who would be fed on gingerbread and caramel sauce, and who would meet the lightning in his own house at the appointed time. So, my grandmother just ran into baby Charlie's widow. He didn't die of lightning strike, by the way. He survived all the lightning strikes and died of something entirely unrelated. But I'm sure it was not on account of all the gingerbread that he ate. But my grandmother ran into his widow, Betty, the other day and sold her one of our CDs. And I thought, won't she have a shock when she opens it up and finds a poem about her husband? there's also an advice column from my Aunt Bonnie, who's very bossy and always told me when I was a child not to shovel my food, and this has been proved to be really essential in my ability to travel all across the world as a folk musician and stay in other people's houses, because if I was still shoveling my food, they might not ask me back. But Gabby's continued to ask me back, so I must be doing all right at the table manners.
Absolutely.
So.
They've asked me back, Jenny.
Well, I know, but you can't help that you shovel. You're from Baltimore. We're going to need your help on this next song. We're going to need you to sing with us. We're going to do 2 more songs, and then we're going to take a break. And this is the first of the 2. This song was all because of me being a big reader. I love to read just like Gabby, and she's always talking about books she's just read. And so this book kept saying, the men pulled on their brogans. His brogans were muddy. His brogans had gotten too small. We were going to have to get the son some more brogans. And I thought, what is a brogan? And I looked it up in the Oxford English Dictionary. Thank you very much for that resource. And it's a men's shoe that goes above the ankle and ties with laces, often used in work purposes or military purposes. And I thought, oh, right, it's just like a work shoe. Okay. And but I thought, I wonder if they ever called them brogans up on Jewel Ridge or Smith Ridge. So I went and asked my experts. And that would be Mama's boyfriend, Mr. Kyle, and his best friend Robert, who grew up in the Jewel Ridge coal camp and spent most of their time secretly smoking cigars behind trees and therefore watched the whole world go by. And I thought if anybody knows if brogans were in use, they would know. So I asked them, and they said, well, why, sure, we called them brogans. And I said, well, but okay, who wore brogans? And they said, well, old Aunt Lou wore brogans. And I thought, now that's not exactly what I expected, because the OED said a men's work boot. But why would old Aunt Lou be wearing brogans? So I said, on account of why did old Aunt Lou, a female, wear brogans? And they said, well, on account of the fact that she needed to go through the woods to get to her corn liquor still. And I thought, oh, more interesting still. And I said, on account of why did old Aunt Lou have a corn liquor still? And because I have lots of men. Can you not honk that thing while I'm talking? Because
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I'm getting distracted. So
Just a nervous twitch.
I know. Why did old Aunt Lou have a corn liquor still? And they said, well, on account of the fact that Uncle Henry didn't feel much like working, and they had 7 children. And so she looked around to see what entrepreneurial activities presented themselves to the women folk of Jewel Ridge and decided that corn liquor still might be the most lucrative of those opportunities. And so she set up her business and in fact put all the men out of business on the ridge with her corn liquor still. And she in fact made such a high profit at it all that she was able to take on extra flour and extra supplies in order to have biscuit feasts for all of the children on the ridge. And this explains why Mr. Kyle and Robert remembered her so well, because as they talked about the biscuit feasts, they started to get incredibly blissful looking, like they were back there as boys just stuffing biscuits into their faces. And so I thought, well, this woman deserves a song. So the only thing about her that I couldn't get into the song was the fact that she was also a champion tobacco juice spitter and made extra money on the side, you know, because the men would constantly bet that they could spit tobacco juice further than her, but of course they never won, and so she had an extra side income on tobacco juice spitting contests. So this is Aunt Lou, and we're going to have to get everybody to sing with us, aren't we? So I'm going to, let's see, we're going to have Pete, and this side of people. Now there's less of us, so we're going to have to be boisterous. And then Gabby and that side, that's Billy's team. So my team's over here, and Pete's wearing the right color because we are the red shoes. My team, and he's got on the red shirt.
And we're the blue glasses.
And Gabby has on blue shoes for you.
Oh no!
Oh,
Peter does have blue
you're kind of on both teams, Peter.
I'll have his
Okay,
Oh,
all
there you go.
right,
Thank you,
boy.
Daddy.
Oh, we're doing good. Yeah, there we go. So that's good.
Now we have some red hair over here.
Yeah, well, that's all right. We'll let Sarah Beatrice get by. So all right. Well, here we go. So this is your part, the red shoes. We start things off. We go, coming down and running down. Let's try it. Coming down and running down. Nice.
And then we're going to go, coming down and running down. Ready? Coming down and running down. One more time. Coming down and running down. Yeah.
And then we're all going to sing together. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Let's try that.
Coming down the mountain in her broken shoes.
And then the blue
And then we'll
glasses.
start. Coming down and running down. Coming down and running down.
And then we go, coming down and running down. And then all together we sing a different line, which is, coming down the mountain right after you. Let's try that.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
So when we put it all together, it's coming down and running down, coming down and running down, coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down, coming down and running down, coming down the mountain right after you. Let's try it all together. So we start, Red Shoes. Coming down and running down,
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her broken shoes. Coming down and running down.
coming down and running down.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
Lovely, it's gonna go a lot faster than that. Okay, so, Old Aunt Lou. Old Aunt Lou wore brogan shoes. One was brown and the other was blue. Danced all night till the sun peeked through. She's coming down the mountain right after you. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
Old Aunt Lou had a big tow sack, moonshine jars rattling in the back. $1 for a half pint, 2 for 2. She's coming down the mountain right after you. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
Nice. Old Aunt Lou made biscuits fat. Once at her table you'd always come back. Beans and taters and cornbread too. She's coming down the mountain right after you. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
Old Aunt Lou had 7 babes. 99 pounds was all she weighed. But she was tougher than me or you. She's coming down the mountain right after you. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down.
Coming down the mountain right after you.
One was brown and the other was blue. And she danced all night till the sun came through. She's coming down the mountain right after you. Coming down and running down.
Coming down and running down. Coming down the mountain in her brogan shoes. Coming down and running down.